I'm Chuck Schaefer, and I'm going to share with you a few of the findings from our most recent research report titled The State of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement. We performed this research to answer the question, how do the highest performing organizations use Dynamics 365 customer engagement differently than their lower performing peers? And to answer this question, we took a three-step process. First, we used a 45-point criterion survey to capture business performance and CRM software utilization benchmarks from 1,036 organizations. We then analyzed the responses to surface the strategies, methods, and technologies that delivered the biggest impacts to business performance. And third, we used revenue and customer business performance measures to group the survey participants into the categories of the best-in-class, medians, and laggards. Based on the business performance measures, the survey participants were grouped into three archetypes. The top 15%, as measured by the business performance measures, were named the best-in-class. The middle 50% were named medians, and the lower 35% were named laggards. The Dynamics 365 customer engagement software stack is built primarily on the three tenets of Salesforce automation, marketing automation, and customer service. So the research survey vetted these three CRM tenets individually as well as collectively. So starting with the collective CRM findings, the number one CRM factor most closely associated with best-in-class CRM performance was having a documented CRM strategy. And you can see by archetype the number of participants with documented CRM strategies and how their business performance differed on this slide. 76% of the best-in-class performers had a documented CRM strategy, but that number fell significantly to 24% for medians and 0% for laggards. And I think the proof is in the payback. As the best-in-class organizations with a documented CRM strategy achieved a 139% higher CRM return on investment than their median peers. That's extraordinary. And it's the result of having a customer-focused strategy, or a strategy focused on the methods and processes that produce the outcomes that most mattered and avoided wasting time on activities that don't. Without strategy, CRM technology is defined in a vacuum, and CRM execution is aimless. But maybe even rather just advise that any company implementing or using CRM software would benefit from a CRM strategy, it might be more helpful to share what a CRM strategy is and what it should deliver. So to that end, I'll share that a CRM strategy is a lot like a roadmap. It identifies your baseline performance, which is your starting point. It then defines your destination in specific and measurable terms, specific and measurable user, customer, and business outcomes. And it then designs the methods to achieve those target objectives in the shortest route. CRM strategy should be thought of as engineering user, customer, and business outcomes. And outcomes that matter are quite often things like increasing customer acquisitions, customer share, and customer retention. Things that directly move the needle on the profit and loss statement. It's defining the destination or the identification of the target objectives that most matter, where most companies fall short. Instead of identifying specific and measurable objectives, such as a CRM program will use specific methods to achieve a 5% increase in customer acquisitions, a 7% growth in customer share, and a 10% increase in customer retention. Less informed implementers simply install CRM software and hope for the best. However, Hope is not a credible business strategy, and configuring CRM software in a vacuum is not going to achieve measurable objectives that move the needle on a profit and loss statement. And that's unfortunate, because creating a CRM strategy is not a big effort. Strategy is about 5% of the effort and journey to CRM success. That said, it's a precursor to everything that comes after. Great execution won't get you very far if your strategy is wrong. But a solid strategy leaves the remaining 95% of the journey to be tackled with clarity of focus, measured execution, and the realization of targeted objectives that matter. The data shows that depending on your company's CRM strategy, whether you have one or not, or if it's partial or complete, the same CRM investment will yield wildly different benefits and payback. So, for those seeking strategic, sustainable CRM success, a CRM strategy is a compelling starting point. The number 2 factor most closely associated with best-in-class business performance was adoption of a customer experience strategy. Nearly 81% of the best-in-class performers have adopted a customer experience program, and 91% of the customer experience adopters scored in the top 25% of CRM return on investment. Customer experience management has become a top customer strategy for many organizations. So it's not surprising to see survey participants using CRM to achieve this goal. What is surprising is the difference in success between the best-in-class and the medians, as shown on this slide, 91% relative to 61%. So I'll put this into some context to share how the best-in-class pursue this customer strategy. And of course, it starts with the customer's experience. And the customer experience is the customer's perception of the brand based on the totality of their interactions. Customer experience management is the business strategy to deliver customer experiences that go beyond basic satisfaction and achieve more emotional goals, such as making customers feel delighted, valued, engaged, special, or rewarded, and making those experiences memorable. CRM software provides the customer data and process integration to create relevant, personalized, contextual, and even predictive customer experiences and achieve customer experience goals. But achieving customer experience management is not a technology-only project, and the best-in-class recognize that it must start by the company being customer-centric. Now, most companies say they are customer-centric, but they are really self-centric, product-centric, or much more internally focused and externally aligned with customers. They define their customer strategy from an inside-out perspective, that is, solely from the company's perspective, and thereby craft their CRM strategy and customer-facing business processes to serve only the company's interest, instead of also considering an outside-in perspective, which means understanding what customers want in order to build relationships with their suppliers, and then crafting a customer or CRM strategy with processes designed to include the customer's objectives. Companies don't get to decide how customer-centric they are. Customers do. The best-in-class recognize that achieving customer objectives had to be part of the customer strategy and the CRM technology deployment. And when that happens, the payoff is big, because delivering differentiated customer experiences is one of only 4 sustainable competitive advantages, because it is not easily copied by competitors or displaced by new technologies. The survey participants were asked to choose their top CRM objectives. And the contrast between the best-in-class and their lower-performing peers was significant in several categories. At the bottom of this slide, you can see the top 3 objectives cited by the best in class. And they included achieving a 360-degree customer view, growing customer relationships, and increasing customer acquisitions. The 360-degree view is interesting because it's a frequently cited but often loosely used phrase. While most companies don't really know what makes up a 360-degree customer view, the best in class did know that to achieve it, they need 5 types of customer data: demographic, transactional, behavioral, environmental, and social. And when they bring each of these 5 types of data to the CRM account record, they achieve the 360-degree view and the benefits that come with it. The second goal of growing customer relationships is also interesting because despite the acronym and name of Customer Relationship Management, very few companies, except for the best in class, design and implement the CRM software methods to grow customer relationships. For example, they don't use voice of the customer to know what customers most want from them by customer segment and at any particular point in time. Customers will tell you what they want, but you have to ask them and record it in the CRM contact record. And that process can be automated. Most companies don't calculate customer lifetime value in order to systemically apply programs that grow customer share and customer lifetime value for each customer. Depending on your customer lifetime value, you should get higher levels of investment for sales or higher levels of service for support. Most companies don't develop customer insights for their customers in order to deliver highly relevant and personalized offers, messaging, and other content. Customer Insights is the name of the Microsoft Customer Data Platform and an essential tool to harvest customer insights. Most companies don't use social technologies, such as social listening or social engagement, to shift customer engagement from a one-way vendor-initiated monologue to a 2-way customer-accepted dialogue. Most companies don't monitor customer behaviors in order to automatically calculate customer health scores and monitor the conditions, events, or triggers that can predict customer churn. For many companies, reduced customer churn is the new business growth model. Most companies don't do these and a lot of other CRM programs that are available to improve customer relationships. Instead, they install CRM software and hope for the best. But as I mentioned earlier, that hope strategy is shown not to work out very well. Instead of CRM, these companies revert to what I call CDM, or Customer Data Management. They simply capture more customer data in a system, and while that can be somewhat helpful, by itself isn't going to improve customer relationships. So if your goal is to grow customer relationships, you need to adopt some specific methods, such as customer experience management, voice of the customer, customer lifetime value, customer insights, social engagement, customer health scores, customer churn predictions, or any one of dozens of other programs that actually achieve the goal of growing customer relationships. The end result of the 3 CRM objectives cited by the best of class is to achieve the overarching goal of customer affinity, which means knowing your customers better than your competitors and using that knowledge to better serve them, build relationships with them, and earn their loyalty. And be clear, knowing your customers better than your competitors and having relationships with them creates customer affinity, which itself is a sustainable competitive advantage because it is not easily copied by competitors or displaced by new technologies. I hope some of these CRM findings provide consideration for your CRM planning or roadmap. If you'd like a copy of the full report, please send me an email. And if you're interested in following our research, we'll be doing a similar research report with Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations to understand how the highest performing organizations use their ERP software to outperform their industry peers. Thank you for your time.